Hello, I'm Nigel Hollett, the Director of the CLA in Wales. This is my weekly update, and I just wanted to reflect on some of the key things that we're hearing from our members and we're picking up from our engagement with the relevant authorities for this particular week. It's still sunny, which is lovely. The weather has been amazing, but we could really do with some rain. In my own garden we grow some vegetables and we planted seeds and early plants and really watering quite a lot at the moment, and it would be really nice to have some rain. There is some forecast, but longer term it is looking like it's going to be dry for a good while. What does this mean for our producers? Is grass not going to grow as well as it has done in the past? I think something to keep an eye on really for the future. Are we heading towards a drought? Who knows? Clearly everybody needs to think about this whole situation with COVID-19 means for us all. But as well as focusing on what we're doing to address the issues, we have to think longer term, and farmers and those involved in the rural community are very good at thinking ahead, and their thoughts will be going out now towards what is going to happen in the near and longer term future. Which brings me on to food really. It's a huge topic. Food has always been important to us in the countryside and those with an interest in rural affairs and the rural agenda. We all eat food, it goes without saying, but where does it come from? One thing I do hope that we will find out following this whole COVID-19 crisis, that people will have a much better understanding, I think, about where their food comes from, how important food is, how it's produced. We aren't seeing any real food shortages at the moment, but who knows what might happen over the next couple of months. Certainly what's happening overseas, countries have clearly closed their borders. Are we going to see some reduction in the availability of food that we buy from our friends and partners overseas? We just don't know. One thing I really hope that will come out of this though, and I think this is something that we've picked up from all of our members, is that there might actually be a big boom for our agriculture and rural affairs industry in the UK, as we're starting to see more interest in where food comes from, how it's produced, and how this can benefit the much broader economy. One of the things we'd really like to hear is if your business is actually doing okay in the current climate. We've heard lots of stories of businesses that are actually beginning to do quite well, and clearly it's very hard for a lot of our members, but for those of you who have got any positive stories to share that may actually help other members consider how they might be able to diversify their business, that would be really nice to actually hear. A few other things that are coming up this week that's important. A lot of the waste transfer sites and those sites that accept waste in local government care are closed. We're finding that waste crime is going up. If people can't take their rubbish to an appropriate site, of course those who are responsible will just hang on to it for the time being, but there are some unscrupulous amounts of waste going out there. So we're seeing increased activity in this particular area, which is really disturbing and really worrying. So we are looking for a solution to this the best that we can. We're working, as always, really closely with Welsh Government and the other authorities. There is a lot of business support out there. We're working with Welsh Government to understand why in some areas things aren't going as well as they could be. We've had a few issues about ineligibility of businesses, which does seem rather unfair. So we're working on this and seeing how we can get to get a solution for this and make sure that for our members and indeed any business that's trying to cope in the current climate, this can really be improved. The Sustainable Farming on Our Land consultation, I'm expecting a response from Welsh Government over the next couple of weeks, and we will be communicating with all our members to tell you really about how the co-design phase will be working. We're hearing lots of stories of the dairy sector really struggling with milk being poured down the drain, which is clearly really worrying. So just please be assured we're working closely with our colleagues in the other parts of the agricultural sector to make sure that we can find a solution for this and get a real change on the ground. Access is a big issue for us in the CLA, and many paths are now closed. Many of the paths in the national parks are closed, and what we've been able to do is to get some signs made up which are translated into Welsh as well. They're available on our website. If you do have a footpath running by you, please check with the authorities about the possibility of whether you can actually close the path. But certainly in terms of a voluntary perspective, if you prefer to encourage people to not use footpaths on your land for various reasons, do have a look on our website and download these signs which should help with that. A couple of other things that we know the tourism sector is really affected at the moment. It's really heartbreaking to hear many of our members that have really diversified into this sector from a more traditional agricultural business are really struggling. Holiday lets have been cancelled, caravan parks are closed, and many of our businesses are writing off this year on the basis that whatever comes in is a bonus. Do come back to us if you have a particular issue that we can help you with. We're finding from many of our members that are running purely farming businesses that things are carry on pretty much the same. Lambing's well underway, arable farmers are just keeping going really. Countryside is a lot quieter and there's a lot less people out there, but our businesses are working really hard to do what they do very well, produce fabulous food that is going to be available to the public in due course. One other thing we are finding is that for a number of our members who have some more time on their hands because they run tourism businesses and these are severely affected, they just can't get building materials. So we're in touch with government to make sure that this can be fast-tracked as soon as possible, obviously in a safe way, but it seems a real shame if you do have some additional time on your hands with labour available that you just can't get the building materials to do those essential works that you might have done in quieter times. As always, do get in touch if there's anything we can help you. We're working exactly the same as we always have. We're all based from home. The office is closed. We're still completely available through our normal number. You have our website address if you want to get in touch with that way. You can get us on Twitter. You can get us by email. We're here to help you. We know things are challenging for all of you, but we're absolutely here for you whenever you need us. Keep safe, keep going, and all the very best. Thank you. Diolch.